Hello and welcome to today's episode of Business Spotlight, where we are joined by Todd of Spaghetti Agency. Todd, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Really good. I've got this sort of purple thing in the corner of my eye. I'm gonna say what? Who's staring at us from the corner?
That's Bob, my meerkat, which is kind of weird because those that know me know my daughter's called Bob as well, and I think the two are related. But I've had Bob a lot longer, so you know. But don't tell my daughter she's named after a plastic meerkat. That's not
A
good.
plastic meerkat. No. Well, thank you very much for joining us. And Bob, hi, how you doing from the corner? Todd, I like to dive straight in, to be honest. So please tell us what you do and how long you've been doing it for.
I run a digital marketing agency, and I've been running it officially for about 10 years, but I started sort of as a side hustle a bit longer than that ago.
Oh, congratulations on the 10 years. That's quite a milestone.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us, so what you do. Tell us a little bit more about what you do, please.
So we describe ourselves as a content agency. So we create content for social media, for websites, for blogs, and we get involved with some other stuff around it. And I also do a lot of training and consultancy as well. So I love getting out there, helping small businesses make the most of their digital marketing. We're probably most well known for social media, but we do a heck of a lot of content, paid advertising, and we build the odd website as well. So.
Amazing. So give it lots of opportunity to give people their voice.
Absolutely. It's all about getting found on the internet. I often say I expose people online, but it comes out wrong when I say that. So.
It's a good way of putting it. It's a good way of putting it. You've just alluded to the fact that it started as a side hustle, but what motivated you to officially start?
A few things. Probably frustration was one of them. So I started messing around with Twitter way back in like 2010, I think it was, when I joined. And I worked for a small business, and I just started using it to promote their business. I made all the mistakes most people do, like just overly selling and not telling the story. And I kind of worked out how to network with it, and then looked at all the other businesses locally. I say all, sweeping statement, most for local businesses, and they were really poor with it. So I started helping smaller businesses to use social media, did a few workshops and things. And then I started looking at marketing agencies in Warwickshire and beyond. And I thought, well, their own social media is so poor. Why are they running workshops and teaching other people and running their social media when they like aren't using it at all? And it's still the same now. It actually is one of the things that sets us apart from other agencies is we actually use the tools that we tell people to use. I always found that really odd. So that kind of frustration and the business that I was working in, things changed there, people moved on, and it all just sort of came to a point. So I quit and started a business with Joe, who I met on Twitter. So the whole thing was born out of the internet. And within 6 months, I got divorced, Joe got divorced, I quit my job, Joe got sacked, although she says she left, she definitely got sacked. And then we started our own business in the space of 6 months, and I moved house. I moved in with Joe. So yeah, it was a pretty serious 6 months in 2013. It all happened.
It sounds serious. It sounds incredibly serious, but what a brilliant sort of pot of pressure to create what you have today. Has it been everything that you hoped it would be?
I have no idea, because up until a few years ago when I started working with Kevin, there was no vision, there was no hope, to use your word. We just started doing it, and it wasn't until we started working with you guys and Kevin that we started to go, well, where will we be in a few years' time? Where are we going? What are we doing? Because it's kind of driven us, and I guess a lot of small business owners get that feeling. The business drives you, and it's probably one of the things you guys help with your clients. It's like business shouldn't drive you; it should be the other way around. But we've just followed the journey, and I've loved it. I love where I am now with our office and our team, and the successful trading we've had this year, and it's all great. But up until about 2 or 3 years ago, there wasn't really any focus of like, we're going over there. So I'm happy where I am now. I think if I went back 10 years and tapped myself on the shoulder and say, oi, quit your job, you'll have this in 10 years' time, I think I'd be happy with it. It's certainly feels successful anyway.
I find that really interesting. You're not alone, by the way. I've spoken to quite a few businesses on the Business Spotlight, and when I asked that question, there has been I didn't set out to achieve. It's purely accidental, or it was a crazy 6 months. May I reword the question then, because you mentioned earlier about frustrations around sort of the industry, the marketing industry. Have those frustrations eased? Are there different frustrations? What are the frustrations now, if any?
They're still there. I think I still look at other marketing agencies and like, because a lot of people confuse us with a branding agency, because we love our brand, and everywhere we go, like, we're on brand. And apart from today, I'm not wearing a branded t-shirt. You probably can't see me, but it's the well, that's one of my frustrations, is people just don't follow through with marketing when they're a marketing agency, which is really odd. The other frustration is marketing agencies, digital marketing agencies specifically, they don't use social media hardly at all. They don't update their blog. They don't use video content. They're not using TikTok or YouTube. And you think, this is bizarre. Like, you're preaching this whole thing on your blog to get people to use it. So that frustration is definitely still there. And the other frustration, like, one of our tagline is no bull, just beef. A lot of marketing agencies talk a lot of bollocks. Like, there's loads of big words and loads of big clever stuff. And it's like, no one wants to know all that. They actually don't want marketing. Nobody wants marketing. What they want is the end result marketing, which is leads and businesses, inquiries, and a busy business. They don't give a crap about the marketing most of the time. They know it's a good thing. They want to be on LinkedIn. They want a good website. They want traffic to their website. But really, this as a coach, when you dig deep, that's not what they want at all. What they actually want is phone calls, people. They want meetings. That's what they want. And social media, digital marketing isn't a direct route to that per se. It's like a supporting actress, if you like. It's something on the side that helps it. And what I've always found frustrating is other agencies just bullshit it all. It does my head in. So I just say it like it is. That's our, which is where the Wild West brand came from. It's like, no bull, just beef. Shoot from the hip. Tell people where it's at. And yes, we definitely alienate some people, and we definitely attract people as well. So we stick to it. Stick to our guns, as I say in the West.
Stick to your guns. I like what you did there. So just to kind of conclude, has it been everything you hoped? Walking the walk as well as talking the talk, continually doing that despite the possibility of alienating some people.
No, yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's definitely what we've always set out to do. It's what I've always done. It's all I know. Me, there's no filter here. And we've then attracted clients and team that do the same. And our team don't bullshit me either. Like, if they don't like what I'm doing, they'll tell me, which is great. It's just how I like the world to be like that. I have incredible frustrations with politicians and people like that who just don't say what they mean. And it's like, just say what you mean. We all know we all know. Just say it. Get on with it. So.
Why is it important for your team to be like that? Why is that important? I really sense that that's really important to you. So why is it important from a team perspective?
It's the transparency, really. I don't ever want my team to be afraid of calling me out, because I need calling out. I can't be left on my own devices. I'm in the office on my own now. It's crazy. What's going to happen with me on my own? People need to keep checking me. And so my team know that they're not to be afraid to just pull me out on stuff and tell me stuff's not right, not the best way of doing it, or they've had this idea, because I ain't got all the ideas. I just, Joe and I run the business. Doesn't mean we've got all the ideas. And so it's really important that they not only push back, but also that they're heard. And then it's a team effort here, and there's more brains to it. I've been places before where you just either thought you couldn't say it, or when you did say it, you weren't heard, so you just stopped saying it. And here we're like, no, we listen to our team all the time, and I hope they agree. We have a daily stand up on Slack, and we all chat together and sort things out together. So that's the culture I want to continue to grow as we grow.
I think it's a fantastic culture, and one that's quite unique to you guys by the sounds of it, and certainly what other businesses aspire to do. Talking about sort of uniqueness, and you have alluded to some of the things that you do within the business, but what would you say makes you stand out in the industry?
Certainly the no bull, just beef. I mean, I make us stand out. I'm quite out there. I just tell it like it is. We're big networkers. Joe and I are very well known in Warwickshire, in all the circles that we go out in. We give a lot of value. We've always done that. Loads of content on social, blogs, free webinars and talks, and like we happily help people like all the time. We also run our own Facebook group. There's 3,500 people in there. That was amazing during 2020 lockdown. We had our own online pub and stuff. So we've got our own little community as part of the business as well, which is quite cool. They're all amazing people, mostly Warwickshire based. That's certainly unique as well. Yeah, it's just being honest. I mean, I say no more than I say yes to people when they inquire to us. I tell them how it is. We had an inquiry the other day. Someone they've been around the houses of loads of marketing agencies. And they said, oh, people keep trying to sell me stuff I don't really want. And we sort of said to them, what do you want? And what they wanted wasn't something we could offer. And I said, we can't offer that. And also, you probably don't even want that. You want this. And they were like, no one's been that honest with us. Like they just try and sell us something. I'm like, I don't want to sell you something you don't need. It's just not what I'm here to do. I started to help businesses with their online marketing because online marketing helps you get found, which then results into business. And there's just far too much bullshit out there. Far too many people take on clients, and I just don't know whether they ever sense checked it in the first place. So yeah, it's our honesty. I think honesty just rings through here as it is on this podcast, as it is in our team meetings and all of our clients as well. It's, if we fuck up, we say we fuck up. I'll just call my guy and say, hey, fucked up. I missed it. So it's our bag. We got it wrong. We'll sort it out.
What a great value. What a great value to have that makes you stand out in a very loud, busy industry. I love it. I think it's great. Would you say that has contributed to your growth? What would you say has attributed the most to your growth? And I understand there was two questions there. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you can probably combine them both. The answer is yes. I think it has contributed to our growth because it's also contributed to people not working with us as well. So we've occasionally got it wrong and taken on clients, and we're like, we weren't as honest with them at the beginning as we could have been, and now this is a painful exercise. And yes, standing out, being quite outspoken gets me. I'm often asked to go and speak at events. I'm on the hunt now for more gigs and things. Now I've got out of the business growth area a little bit more, and people want me to speak at their events. They want me to talk about digital marketing because they know it's not going to be some death by PowerPoint thing. It's actually going to be like what's working now. No bullshit, straight to the point, get on with it with some fun and some humor to it as well. I've sat through, as I'm sure you have, many boring presentations, and I've seen many boring YouTube videos, and I've seen many boring digital marketing agency websites. And it's like, no, we're people here. Like my team find it weird when we go out and they're like, everybody knows who we are. I'm like, yeah, I talk about you, Nicole and Lynn and Tanita all the time. Like with our office dogs, we've got like, I don't know how many of them we've got now. They all keep turning up. Like, everyone knows what we're doing. And, and I just think that's important. People do buy from people, and they need your services. I went networking last night, and I was asked about 20 minutes into a conversation with people I'd never met before, and what I did. And I said, digital marketing, that and the other. And they said, well, what's your tip on social media? And I said, it's exactly what we've just done. We spent 20 minutes getting to know each other, and no one's asked anyone what they do. And that's how human beings operate. I said, had this been on LinkedIn, you'd have sent me a PDF. You'd have connected request from and asked if I could do with any more clients this year. It's madness. No one seems to sort of get it, that online is still the same as it is in real life. So that's what I've preached really for the last 10, 12 years.
Just be social.
Yeah, be social. Be
but on. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Do you know, as you were saying that, I was imagining the last PDF that I got on LinkedIn, and I was imagining the last conversation that I had on Instagram. So it really does happen. How do you keep your finger on the pulse? Because especially digital marketing, but marketing in general, it's so fast moving. I was just chatting to somebody literally 5 minutes before we jumped online, and they said that Facebook has changed some algorithm behind, which has messed up all the links. How do you do it? How do you keep on top of it?
It's very difficult. I mean, I'm in MetaSuite Business Manager virtually every day. We're in Google Ads Manager every day. Even blinking Zoom, you come onto Zoom, and I use Zoom 3 or 4 times a day, as I'm sure you do. And, you'll be aware as I am that there's always an update. It is the only way to stay on top of it is to use the bloody thing. Like I do a TikTok video every day, and that enables me to know where all the stuff is. So people can ask me something about the TikTok app, and I know how to fix it. I know how to sort it out. And if I don't, I'll work it out straight away because I've got 99% of the knowledge already. So the next bit is easy. It's very difficult though. I think the only way to stay ahead of stuff is to use it, is to be around it and around the environment, and also have people you can message and ask if you don't know. I mean, we've built up an amazing collection of people in the last 10, 12 years, which we call our little blue book because it's on brand. We know some cool people, some people that know some stuff. So if we don't know, we'll find out straight away.
Leaning into your community, I'm hearing, is incredibly important. So those around you are your strengths for sure. How would you say, how do you balance your personal life with your business life at the moment, Todd?
Oh, well, I'm in my office now. I can see the top of my road from here. So I am 2 minutes from my house, but that is enough for me not to be at home now. And when I'm at home, that is enough for me not to be at work. I leave my laptop here. I don't take my laptop home. I took it home last night because I was out on the road yesterday networking. I went to 3 networking meetings yesterday. After your networking meeting, I went on to 2 more.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of the only times my laptop has been at home for a while. Because if I need it, I can walk over here. It's a couple of minutes. And for me, it reminds me of a friend, Stuart, years and years ago, who worked from home. And he showed me his home office, and we went up in the loft. And I said, Stuart, why have you got a coat hanger in your office in the loft? And he said, that's where I hang my jacket. I said, what jacket? He said, my suit jacket. I mean, what are you talking about? He said, I get dressed before I go to work, because he's always been in corporate. So he put a full suit on and went in the loft. And he said, I have to do it. I have to pattern interrupt. I have to be at work. And I'm like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to definitely have a thing. So when I leave here, I voice note Kevin, my coach, and then I voice note my personal trainer with my update. And then I just have enough time to just break that pattern and then go in. I blow on the key, which is the thing we learned at one of the growth club days.
Yeah, love it.
And then my 6-year-old attaches herself to me like a leech, tells me everything she's been doing for the last 12 hours in 4 seconds, and I'm at home. So I can't. The challenging thing is my iPhone, because everything for my business is in there. My CRM, my email app is hidden, but it's there. My social media, obviously. So it is difficult to switch it off, because I love it and I'm always on it, and I like social media. I'm probably addicted in some way to social. I like to see what's going on. I mean, in the team, we've got a chat channel on Slack, so we drop some hilarious memes and some. I mean, if MI5 ever find my Slack channel, we're all for it. Really, there's some filth in there, but we're constantly chatting. Lots of clients will WhatsApp me at night. I don't answer it straight away, but that's the challenging bit. I don't think I'll ever be able to do it, but I'd have to leave my iPhone at home at work when I go home. But it's not possible, is it? Not at the moment.
Well, I loved that advice of creating that sort of that pattern of sort of this 1, 2, 3 step process. And I'm at home, and that's it. Works, laptops at work, drive home, voice note who you need to voice note, blow on the key, walk through the door. And my next question was going to be, but what about your phone? And especially in the digital world that you're in, it's 24/7. It's louder than Vegas.
But it's all turned off. It's on a charging dock at the moment. It's switched off. When I come on Zoom, I've automated it so everything's on do not disturb, so nothing beeps. I've got no notifications. I've got no sounds. I choose when I go in there, so there's no notification badges on any of my social media apart from LinkedIn, just for DMs, because that's the most important channel. The email app is not on the front of the phone, is in the phone. I have to go and search for it. There's no notifications on that as well. I don't answer any calls that are not scheduled in. I've got a list of people that I will speak to, and my family, so that comes through. I love tech and I love Apple stuff, and I've gone deep into the system, and like everything from when I'm in the gym, I use an app in there and it switches everything off so no one can message me. I've changed my environment so that bloody thing doesn't interrupt me. I interrupt it, not the other way around. And if I'm on it, being distracted by social media, that's on me. I've decided to do that. It's not a ding, like someone WhatsApps me, Facebook messages me. I don't get it. It doesn't interrupt my watch or anything. Nothing comes up. Because it would be hell, because it would be on all the time. So I turn it all off.
That's really important. That's mind-blowing, actually, because I didn't realize that you could do that with your watch.
Very
So
much.
I will absolutely do that. But that's I think the really important point that you've just made there is, it's when you go into it, it's by choice that you're having that, the phone, you're having that piece of equipment work for you, as opposed to it disrupting you, distracting you.
Don't get me wrong, I still use it way too much, and I still go in there looking for the dopamine hits. And you know, if I post a TikTok video, I'm refreshing it and I'm checking the views. If I'm looking at my email, I'm still looking for stuff. If I'm waiting for a client to say yes to a proposal, or you know, a team member to come back to me, if that's, I still check it, but it's on my watch, so I can't be like, oh, my phone. And it's like, no, I'm doing it. It's my fault. Everything's my fault is my mantra. If I'm in there, I've chosen to be in there. So that's about as good as it gets for me at the moment.
I think that's a massive takeaway for people that are going to be watching this, for sure. What would you say has been your biggest learning running in the business?
Biggest learning, wow. I think recently the biggest learning is ask for help. I'm a bit of a maverick. I think it's down to my learning style. Like if you were teaching me something, I wouldn't be able to listen to your instructions and then do it. I'd be like, okay, cool, Hannah, thanks, go away. And then I'd sit down and try and work it out. I get a new piece of equipment, I'd just throw the instructions away and work it out. IKEA furniture, like I'll try and do it without it. Because of the way I learn, I then struggle then to do stuff in a team, because I'm like, oh, I can't really pick up on the way that they're teaching me stuff, which has then led me to just do everything on my own, which is not a great way of running a business. So letting go of things has been something I've had to really grapple with, especially since employing a team. So it started in 2020 when we actually brought people in-house rather than external. You know, letting go of things, not writing our weekly email, not writing our company blog, you know, having an IT company fix things that I could fix myself, but it's like, that's just not my job anymore. It's that thing, really, having help, asking for help, allowing people to help me. My team will chuckle if they hear this, because I know I'm just getting away. I trust them all, but sometimes I'm like, oh, just give it here, I'll do it. I've actually got a thing like, oh, it's under my screen over there. It says Todd, fixer of everything. I just fix everything, but I've got to stop doing it. So my biggest learning is you know, hire the right people, get out of the way, basically.
Which I think is a challenge for a lot of other business owners. So may I ask a secondary question to that, and just ask, why is it being so important?
I like things done well. Why has it been so important? I was going to say, why is it important to do it? Why is it important? Because it allows you to grow. It allows you to then have space in your mind, space in your diary to work on the business. You know, that classic cliche. It's like, you've got to work on it, not in it. And if you're constantly in it, doing all the things, it might be slightly better than anyone else in the world could do, but you'll always be doing that, and your business won't really grow that fast. So what I do now in the business compared to what I did 2 or 3 years ago is completely different. I spend more time in sales, operations, finance, networking, and, you know, face of the business, as someone called me earlier, than writing our company blog and doing our own Twitter feed. You know, like I see stuff on social media from my company now, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's cool. Like, I had no idea it was going out. I just happened to see it on my phone, and it's quite cool for me to see that. I still get a bit of a buzz when I see it now, because A, it's brilliant, my team are amazing, and B, I wasn't involved, and no one asked me permission. It's gone out, and I'm like, that's really good. So that's why it's important. It allows you to run the business.
Yeah, I think it's I think that's, like I say, it's a challenge that a lot of business owners have. One more question around that. What did you do? If you could give a 3-step process of this is how I do it. Just do this, this, and this, because, like I say, a huge challenge for business owners. So how would you advise that they are able to do this?
It's all about processes. So everything in our business is processed. I think the best example is the blog writing. So I used to do all the blogs here up until about 3 or 4 years now, probably more than that, about 5 years ago. And it was all in my head and an iPhone note. And it was like, if I'm going to outsource this to someone, I've got to write it all down. So next time I did it, I started just documenting on a note on my iPhone how I did it, and every single meticulous bit. Now, our Trello, I've actually got Trello open on that screen there. Like, you'd not believe the amount of steps and processes in place to just creating a blog and then putting it on social media and putting it out to email. You've got to process it. You have to have it all written down and processed. And initially, you're like, you don't want to do it. it's like going to the gym early in the morning. Like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Don't make me do it. But if you do it, you're like, oh, now it's a lot easier because now I can actually outsource it. It will take you probably twice as long to do that task with the first time you do it and process it. But then it's going to free you up. You know, if you do that task 10 times a year, it's going to free you. But if you do it 10 times a week, like I was doing, it's huge. It's a huge thing. So you have to process it. You have to be able to create a process that other people understand. Check that with them. Do you understand it? And it all came to fruition when Lynn joined us at the beginning of this year, beginning of 2023. And she came in, she logged onto Zoho, our CRM, looked at our Trello board, and with a tiny bit of training, she just started working here. And then my copywriter that joined me in the summer, the other copywriter trained her. No one got involved. And she's better than the previous copywriter now because there's more processes. And it's like, no one trained her. Like, how did that happen? And it's the processes in the team. So now I'm totally out of the loop of it all, which is great. So that's why it's important. But you've got to be able to process it very meticulously, because there's always those. I always say it's like giving someone directions. If you say, yeah, straight on at a roundabout and then turn left and then first right, if you miss a roundabout out, they're going to be like, oh, is it this roundabout or the next one? You've got to be really specific with your instructions. If you leave anything to chance on a process, it goes wrong. Like McDonald's wouldn't do it. McDonald's is a process property business. It is not a food chain. It's a process driven business. So yeah, I'm big on processes. We've got a bingo card in here, and processes and stay in your lane is one of my things. And the team get it out every time I say it, but processes are important. But when I go off process, they do tell me.
Yeah, I mean, they pull you up on it.
They pull me up on it.
I think that's a really good share, because we often feel as business owners that we need to let go of things, and that's the scariest thing in the world. But if you look at it from your point of view, where you create a process and a clear process, it's not letting go. It's actually handing it over for somebody else to do, so that you can free up your time and, in your words, to work on the business. Yeah. So yeah, really good share. Thank you so much. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time, Todd?
Oh,
spaghetti agency.
I should have the answer, shouldn't I? It's clearer than it was. So I've really got into my health and fitness in the last couple of years, and most of my team are into the gym and their spirituality and health and nutrition, and so that's the area we were moving into. We want to grow the team now. Joe and I sort of collectively agreed we won't be any more than 25 people in our team. That's our kind of aim one day. So in 5 years that will be there, and very much in the space of people who help people. Like, no offense to accountants and engineers and, I don't know, manufacturers, and it's like, it's not really our vibe. Like, we want to move into health, fitness and wellness. So, you know, gyms, nutritionists, bit of woo-woo, like all of that kind of area. We love it. You know, social media lends itself very well to it. Content lends itself to it. So that's where we'll be in 5 years with a bit of luck.
With a bit of luck and a bit of planning. So you've had 10 years where you didn't have, so you don't know, when we started, has it been everything we hoped? Now you have that plan. Yeah,
and that works. You know that works because you've got to have something in your mind to sort of get your brain locked into. And you know, it's like you guys encourage people to write their letter to yourself, and it's amazing when you open that 90 days after you've written, you're like, holy shit, I forgot I wrote this, and now I've got this. It's fascinating. So if you don't know where you're going, then you ain't going to get it, are you? It's simple.
Yeah. Who was it? One of my favorite quotes actually, Zig Ziglar says, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit nothing. So yeah, it's one of those that's stuck with me, that one. Finally, I would love for you to share any words of advice that you have for other business owners who are looking to grow.
Be yourself. It's served me so well, just being myself. I can't emphasize that enough. You've got to really learn who you are, be okay with who you are, and just be proud of who you are and put yourself out there. I think I feel very fortunate that I don't have a filter. It's got me in trouble over the years a few times. I've said the wrong things to the wrong people, but I'm unapologetically myself, and I know that's one of the driving forces of this business. It's part of our brand values that are written on the wall over there, and it's something people always say to us. We really like you guys because you just say it like it is, or I feel like I know you, or you're really honest. We like your honesty. And I just think in this world where so many people get caught out by telling lies and bullshit and covering up and saying things, you know, all of this kind of stuff. The news is a great example of that. You're better off just being yourself. Just put yourself out there and just be proud of what you do. And if you're not proud of it, just be better. Fix it.
What a fantastic thing to finish on. Be yourself. We often forget that it's as simple as that. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's as simple as that. Be yourself. There's been absolutely loads, tons of takeaways for business owners and just humans alike to connect within this conversation, Todd. So I just want to say a massive, massive thank you for joining us here on Business Spotlight, and I shall look forward to catching up with you very soon.
Thanks, Hannah. See you soon.
Cheers, Todd. See you later.